What's up, everybody? This this lighting is a little aggressive. Hope everybody's having a great evening. I'm going to fire off a Underdog draft. We're just waiting for one person. It's a $10 dinger draft. It's been a few days, and a Garrett Cole injury and a Dylan Cease trade and an Aaron Judge injury. So we'll kind of see how that plays into the draft here. We're only 15 days away from opening day. So here we go. Now we're going live. Let's see. We've got the 9th pick. So let's fire this up. And I'm going to switch screen for you guys right now. Oh, it's me again. I'm big. There we go. Hey, you guys can follow along with the draft board. I, of course, can see your comments in the chat. So if you jump in, feel free to say hi, see how you're doing. Let's see. Let me know how you're doing, see how I'm doing. Went to the ball game today, had some friends in town. Royals Angels in Surprise, Arizona. Went down, saw Miguel Sano hit a bomb. Saw Reed Detmers throw really well. And that was about it. No Trout, no Witt. The beauty of spring training games, right? So, okay, so who are we going to get with this pick? I'm assuming probably going to be looking at, like, if I'm lucky, Tatis, maybe Kyle Tucker. We'll see if Aaron Judge pops up. Definitely wouldn't mind Judge at 9. He's dealing with an oblique, and that big toe injury he had last year is bugging him a little bit. We've got 4 shields coming up, so there's a good chance none of these guys take Judge. Hey, Tyler. Tyler, what's up, man? I did see Garcia today. I cannot recall if he hit a bomb. I will say that the home run that Reed Detmers gave up did not look like a home run, and the wind just caught it and threw it out to center field. It was wild. Hey, what's up, Nano? Good to see you. Tell me how you guys are doing. How'd your day? You guys picked up any cards in the last couple of days? Tyler, I sent you a card for trivia, right? There goes Aaron Judge. Boom. Let me put these in. I didn't even fix my mic. It's amateur hour here. So it looks like I'm going to go Tatis. Hey, by the way, Nano, I knew Tyler, you as well. I knew you guys always do a great job of liking my tweets, and I just want to let you know I really do appreciate that, because that impacts the algorithm and it allows more people to see them. Okay, this guy took Tucker, so I'm going to go Tatis. This is a no-brainer for me. Not because I'm a Padre fan, just because I think he's actually closer to being number 5. So picking him up at 9 is a nice win for me. And when it comes right back around, we haven't had any pitchers or any infielders. There goes Bobby Witt. There goes Freddie. Okay, when it comes back around, I'll hopefully be able to take Schwarber. But if not, I'm taking Garcia. Just because with the Underdog drafts, those outfielders just go so fast, you've got to be on it. I will not be surprised if Spencer Strider goes before it gets back to me. That makes a ton of sense. You know, Tyler, I did take a look, and I was pretty excited that you did not have that card. So I made an effort. I had 2 Cubs. So it just kind of worked out well. You had one, you didn't have the other. You didn't have the Hendricks. And I was like, oh, this will be cool. He'll probably be pumped about this. So I'm glad that I'm glad you were excited about that. I did watch a little bit of the stream last night. I normally don't. I mean, back in the day when I used to do radio, let me fix this. There we go. You guys can hear me a little better now. Trying it. There we go. Back in the day when I used to do radio, I would always listen to my shows, especially when I was new. And it's hard. It's really hard to listen to yourself. It's not fun. But I would always listen, and you beat yourself up a little bit, but I'm not doing radio, right? I'm not like making YouTube videos for clicks and traffic and advertising and affiliate money. I'm not doing that. I'm doing it because I enjoy contributing and being part of the community. So it's a little different, but I did watch about the first 5 minutes. I don't understand why, but for some reason, I'm not able to set it up so when people watch the replay, they can see the chat, which probably doesn't make any sense because I engage with you guys all the time as I'm hosting and I'm answering questions. And so it's kind of a dumpster fire if somebody's not in here live. It is what it is, I guess, right? I did notice that I'm using a lot of crutches when I talk, and I think part of that is I just get so excited. Trivia was a little different too. It was a little intense, but for me, I just need to slow it down a little bit. Sometimes I just get real excited, but I need to slow it down a little bit, collect myself, have a little bit of a pause, roll right into the next thing I want to talk about. Because otherwise, I'm just using a lot of and that's not helpful for anybody. So there's another crutch. So I'm trying to work on it. There goes Garrett Cole. Big Mo, that's an early pick to trash. Hopefully Garrett Cole's just out 1 to 2 months, but it sounds like one of those situations where they kind of sit on a guy for a few months, hope it gets better, and then all of a sudden he's having Tommy John, which you hate to see that for Garrett Cole. However, that's just going to be the reality of the situation. I don't think I bought any new So Rare today. Oh, that's not true. I think I bought one card. I was at the ball game, so I just had some bids and some things hit. Oh, I bought plenty of stuff. Let's see. I got a Paul Blackburn rare. I got a Carter Kieboom limited jersey. I picked up Dylan Cease because he got traded to the Padres. I don't normally do the homer thing, but I feel like Cease is like Snell Light. And going into Petco and also with the pitching coach the Padres have, I think he might be able to get back 2022 Dylan Cease. So for $35, I figured, hey, why not? I better get a pick ready here. My pick was going to be an outfielder, and they're all gone. I might take Nolan Jones. Okay, I'm not going to take Nolan Jones. We're going to play that game. Seems like this guy is going to take my pick every time. All right, I'm going to go Brian Reynolds right here. Am I, though? Ooh, Simeon is there. Yeah, I'm going Brian Reynolds. As much as I'd like to take Simeon, because Simeon is a beast in this format, it's just not conducive. So, yeah, I did buy some cards today. And what I'm trying to do right now is kind of hang back a little bit on the buying. And I know if you look at my collection, it probably doesn't look like that. But I'm trying to hold back on things because the way I kind of see based on the rewards, which we were tweeting about earlier today, they're really set up like NBA. And we saw what happened with NBA. So I feel as though there's no reason for me to plan out too far ahead. I don't normally play limited, and I kind of passively play rare, but I put together Ranger stacks for limited and rare. So all I need to do is get pitchers to rotate. So for the most part, I'm just grabbing the pitchers I need for the first couple game weeks. And then I'll kind of watch how the market moves. And as soon as people start realizing how challenging it is to be able to win rewards, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of guys in the SoRare Discord that are like collection for sale, 50% of SoRare data, blah, blah, 70% off of SoRare data price, like that kind of thing. Like we saw with NBA, and everybody's just trying to catch a falling knife. So when that starts to happen, everything else is going to start to come down, and that'll be my opportunity to jump in and grab whatever I need at a pretty reasonable price. Ooh, okay. De La Cruz or Gunner? You guys want to chime in here real quick? De La Cruz or Gunner? De La Cruz or Gunner? I got to make a pick. 5, 4, 3. Okay, I think you said Gunner. We'll go Gunner. Oh, it took De La Cruz. Damn it. Oh, I hate the delay. All right. I mean, EDLC is decent. It's not a bad pick, right? But I tried. I feel like EDLC and Oneil Cruz are basically the same person. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like they're basically the same person. You know, the funny thing is, Tyler, I don't know if you played Rainmakers. Nano, I don't know if you played Rainmakers, but with SoRare transitioning over to the Rainmaker model, they really need to get out 25% of whatever they're gonna mint before the season starts. They're minting slower than typical. Now, granted, they started minting essentially like a day or two before season last year, so it was a dumpster fire. But this year they're giving a 3-week runway on it. So you would think, okay, this is a great opportunity. They're going that much earlier. They're going to be able to pump out a good chunk of the inventory. And that way, everybody has 52 weeks of utility. That's the whole key. Every week really matters utility-wise. And by SoRare holding back all this inventory, it doesn't matter that they think that if they hold it back, there's going to be more demand for it. But the reality of it is, the more they hold it back, the less utility it has, and the less money they're getting for it. So it makes a lot more sense to sell 50 Austin Riley limited cards, or I'm sorry, 100 Austin Riley limited cards at $40 a piece instead of selling 10 for $60 a piece or $80 a piece. It's the you guys have seen me post about it, but it's the fast nickel versus slow dime theory. I think everybody who goes to business school has to study that at some point. And we're seeing it play out live with SoRare right now, which is nuts, which wouldn't be as bad of a thing if they didn't change the model. But because they changed the model and they're requiring so many limited, so many rare cards, they really need to step on the gas, and they're not going to. And it's going to end up costing the company millions. I mean, it's just a difference of philosophy, I guess. It's not like Damian and Everett aren't smart guys. It's not like Nicholas is not a smart guy. They're all very smart people. We just have a difference of philosophy, and that's why they're working for the company, and I'm drafting best ball teams. Right? All right. Let's see, where are we at? There goes Bo. Bo went nice and late. There's Machado. Might get lucky and have Bregman fall to us here. Tyler and Nano, I know you guys are on here. Have you guys played best ball before? I'm curious. Because I've just been talking about SoRare. I haven't really been breaking down the best ball team. Is Hap still there? Yeah, Hap is still there. That's definitely going to be my guy if it comes up. There's Bregman. That'd be great. And I'm going to look at pitching. Glass now. Nope. All the good pitching's gone. Okay, that's fine. Skubal. Man, people have really gotten fired up about Skubal. Ozuna. Man, this guy took Evan Carter at 41. He's pumped. Oh, he screwed me a few times already. Oh, he got Bregman. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take Hap because there's no way Hap makes it back to me. And then hopefully I'm going to grab a pitcher on the way back around. Oh, here we go. In football, yeah, totally. Yeah, Hap. Tyler, you know, right? You're my Cubs specialist, my Cubs expert, my they call it on-site reporter. There's a term I'm looking for. Correspondent, my Cubs correspondent. You're the guy I'm going to lean on. So it's even if Hap was going to miss a week or two, I'm good picking him there. I think that's I think Hap is a beast, and he's like right on that same level with Reynolds and Yelich. I mean, I would take him over Yelich. And I'm not a Cubs fan. That's just Scooble. Oh my gosh! All right. Well, I should be able to get Kirby or Webb here. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I saw that Scooble #1 rare one for $260. That is. Why wouldn't you just make sure that there were like 3 more on the market right away? Just go. I did not see how much Ohtani finished at. I was at the ball game. I pulled it up. Actually, somebody had hit me up. One of the whales hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, are you going after Burns?" And I said, "I think 400 was my max bid on Burns." I said, "So I don't think I'm in on Burns." And I don't know if I got an alert or if somebody said something, but I took a look at it because I'm like, "Should I be in on Burns? What's going on here?" And it was only one more bid above my 400. And at that point, I said, "Okay, well, we don't know what's happening with Cole. Burns could be the second best pitcher right now." So I think I bid it up to 515. I'm at the game. My girlfriend's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, please don't worry about it. Please don't make me feel guilty for dropping $500 on this digital trading card. And I saw Ohtani was about to end in 5 minutes. And I was like, "Whoa, Ohtani's like $700." And she's like, "Is that good?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And she's like, "Well, because I don't really like to talk about it with her, but she's inquisitive." So I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, you've spent way more than that on other cards." And I'm like, "Okay, let's not talk about this right now." And I didn't get to see where it finished. So I think it was around 700. I figured it would finish close to Acuna, but definitely short. Oh, nice Nano. It's the $10. So the DraftKings best ball has gotten sharper. I did a bunch in the beginning, and the groups weren't very sharp, so I felt like I was able to build some really good teams. But they've gotten sharper, and I really don't like their setup, and their rake is pretty high. So I don't love that. Plus, I've been dealing with some issues with DraftKings. So I just keep going back to Underdog, and the rake is good and it's reasonable. And I think like the rake on Dinger is 10%, but the rake on some of those DraftKings contests is like 15%. That's a big chunk to take out. Plus, on with the exception of Dinger, actually, all the other Underdog contests, the top 3 advance. So I kind of like that. Like I said, Dinger's a little different. They have the let me look. They only have 3 right now, which is why I'm still doing Dinger, because it's my least favorite of the bunch. So they have the Perfect Game, which is $100 entry. I think I have 6 of those teams already, and it looks like it's going to fill up pretty soon. And then they have the Solo Shot, which is a single entry, and I entered that like almost a month ago. So I've just been waiting. There's only 2 contests, a $10 or a $100 one. I'm like, wow, how much? The $100 one's great. I just feel like if I keep firing them off, I feel like a degenerate. So instead, I just fire off 10 Dinger contests, and I feel better about it for some reason. Doesn't make a ton of sense. especially because the rake's only like 7% on the perfect game contest. I did make an effort, by the way, just so you know, Tyler, I did make an effort to bid E2D up on a couple Cubs players. So just in your honor, I was like, that's too low. I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me. Hopefully he doesn't get salty and start bidding up some of my stuff. But I was thinking of you, and I was like, this guy's kind of been a punk. My boy Tyler's trying to just get some Cubs. What's up? Doop, doop, doop. So, but I had your back. What are we doing here? Oh, I dropped out of the page. Okay, here we go. I don't know who this guy's going to take, but he normally picks really well in front of me, which I don't like. Logan Gilbert, that's fine. I wouldn't have taken Gilbert. Ooh. Oh, right on cue. All right, well, this is going to happen. I'm sure you guys have no idea who I'm taking right here. That's nice. I'm going to queue up a couple pitchers, but I'm taking Torkelson. I love Torkelson and Casas right here. I highly doubt that Casas is going to make it back to me, especially because he got picked 3 picks ago. Yikes. Where's Matt McLean? Where you at, homie? 105? 88, 105. Maybe he makes it back. Maybe I should just take him now and go with a red stack, huh? Grab Friedel. I really do like Matt McLean, though. Like I'm a little too high on Matt McLean. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like I'm a little too high on Matt McLean. Ooh, Friedel or McLean? Where am I at on outfielders? 5. Because what I'd really like to do is grab guys like Joe Ryan right here, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna commit to this stack. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm gonna go Friedel. If I can get there. Here we go. I'm gonna go Friedel, and I'm gonna hope that Matt McLean comes back. And we'll go red stack. And then I'll draft Spencer Steer, and I don't know. We'll just go nuts. We'll just throw away $10 right here. Burn it to the ground. Tyler says if he wins tickets to a Cub game for collection bonus, I'm going to ask if I can sit separate from the number 1 collector. Don't you just want to sit next to him and, like, I don't know, eat bean burritos? Just be like, really? I mean, if anything, you made him spend considerably more money than he would have otherwise. I try not to. Somebody asked me today about bidding people up. I really try to make an effort not to bid people up, especially because I feel like I'm very, gosh, I don't know the word I want to use here. I guess because people know me. I feel like if I bid somebody up, they will 100% bid me back up. So most of the time I make an effort if I recognize somebody, unless I really want that card. And a lot of times if I have the amount of time I can, I'll reach out to them and just say, hey, by the way, I really want this card. I'm not trying to bid you up. So how committed are you? Like, are we going to go at it right here? Or, you want to peel off, or should I peel off? Like, let's make a decision so we're not costing each other a bunch of money. But I just feel like if I do it too often and get petty, then people will have zero problem getting petty with me. And so I actually was thinking about this the other day because Potter bid up one of my cards. It was late at night. It was like 1:30 in the morning. And he bid up one of my cards from like $25 to $60. And there was maybe 15 minutes left on it. And I was like, who in the hell just bid my card up? And I saw it was Potter. So I sent him a message on Discord and I was like, hey, look, next time you want something, it's going to cost you $30 more because you just bid me up. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know it was you. And I was like, you mean you didn't know my max bid was that high? I'm like, $30 next time you buy something. I'm making a chart. And then today, Doc Screw hit me up and he was like, hey, man, sorry, I didn't realize you were leading on Tanner Scott. I had a pretty high max on Tanner Scott. And he's like, I'm really sorry, but I owed him because I bid him up on Aaron Judge. And I didn't realize it was him. I was like, no, because I have the Aaron Judge. So I was trying to play a little defense on it. And I was like, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bid you up on that. But I mean, he ended up not winning it. But I try not to. I just feel like I have a big target sometimes. So I just try to be cool. I mean, So Rare's making enough money off of us. Like, we don't need to like take money from each other. There goes McLean. Okay. I should probably go pitching here. Oh, dude, Doc bought a ton of my cards. Doc has got a really nice collection. He's got a pretty solid deck. I think he's going to be really dangerous this year. I'm not going to be very good this year. I keep trying to tell people. Nobody believes me. I'm like, guys, I'm just not going to be very good. So you're going to have to deal with that. I've already accepted it. Please accept it. Keep your expectations low. I'm not going to win a lot. I'll be more entertaining, but I won't win a lot. And the reason why is because I was too exposed before. I mean, my collection was fantastic. And that really helps. When you have all the cards, it's really easy to play whoever you want to play. But I was just too exposed. Okay, I really like Yuri here. I don't want Dansby. What happened? Like Nico. Where are we at pick-wise? 105? Nico can wait. I'm going to go Churio. I wanted to go Yuri, but I'm going Churio. Churio. I normally like to go 6 outfielders early, and then I'll just drop it. So I'm going to – ooh, there's Joe. This guy's been rising up. Oh, never mind. There goes Joe. And there goes Hunter. So maybe I get Yuri or I'm going to take Nico Horner. One of those two things is going to happen. I don't normally go 6 outfielders and 9 picks, though. This is a little aggressive. He goes Darvish. Really? Okay, well, I'm going to go Yuri. So at least I have 2 pitchers. And give me 1 second. The girlfriend's texting. So I've been dating my girlfriend for 4 years, and we don't live together. She lives on the other side of town. It's like 50 minutes. So we really only see each other on weekends, but she took a half day so she could meet me at the ball game. And whenever like one of us is driving, we always text the other person, let them know we got home. And then like she'll text me that she got home, like even from work or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, I'm glad you're home safe, blah, blah, blah. And today, I don't know what happened, and I'll read you the text because it made me laugh. But she got home. We went out. So we went to the ball game, and then we went out. I took her to dinner. And she says, I'm home at 7 o'clock, and I didn't text back. And an hour later, she says, good thing I'm not on the side of the road, LOL. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm so glad you're home, babe. So I might have to wear that this weekend. Hopefully not, but calm down, Siri. Yeah, I might have to wear that this weekend. That was not my best moment. Yeah, you Darvish. I just hope he can stay healthy. That's a pretty early pick for you, though. Not for you, but for you. E2D is never off the platform. You know, the thing is with E2D, it might be a collective of people. Why is my light on? This is weird. Oh, I got outbid on a few. I've been trying to like scrape the bottom of the barrel on number ones and jersey numbers. So I'll just bid like $10 to $12 on every single player with the thinking that if I want to be able to build up collection score later, it's a lot easier if I have certain players. Or if I want to be able to use them for trade bait. So I have a couple A's and a couple nationals. But if somebody's holding like Giloff and they're having trouble getting the collection score, I can just be like, let's work out a trade. So I'm not trying to flip them, although I guess I could. I'm really just trying to use them for kind of trade bait at some point for somebody, because if you don't have a couple jerseys or a couple number ones, getting that 750 could be a little challenging. I mean, and you really want to get that 750 like as quick as possible on limited and rare, because that bonus should have a huge impact. So I felt like I'll buy a few guys. We'll see if we can use them for trade bait. And let's see, who do I have? A's, White Sox, couple Cardinals. I'll probably end up building the Cardinal stack. I'd really like them to go to multi-entry. It doesn't make any sense why they're not. Nationals, D-backs. I'll probably put together a D-back stack. I got a Red Sox and a Padre. I don't know if I'll put together a Padre stack. But it's just kind of like have it, not need it, then need it, not have it kind of thing. Where are we at here? Okay, I have no idea who I'm picking here. I should get a pitcher or an infielder, though, right? Yeah, Bobby Miller gets taken early. Ooh, my boy Hunter Brown might make it to me. Hopefully this guy doesn't steal it again. Yeah, I'm either Hunter Brown or Sonny Gray right here. I'd really like to get Hunter Brown and then come back and get Sonny Gray, because I know people are a little nervous about him missing some time. Sweet. So this is going to help me a lot. Max Muncy in the 11th round actually seems like pretty good value. Oh, there's Giloff. I'm a big Giloff guy. Not as big as Orange Fly, but in best ball, I really think he's solid value at the back end. And I need a third infielder, so I'm either going Sonny Gray or I'm going Giloff. And if both those guys get taken, then I'm going to target Michael King. Michael the King. Where did Dylan Cease get picked? Dylan Cease, 72. So the last pick of the 6th round. All right, I just got to keep that in mind. I just get so excited about taking bats that I'm like, I'll figure out the pitching later. I'm fine. All right, people are skipping on Gray. Just one more. I'll take Sonny Gray. It's okay if I got to punt for a week or two. Come on, HH Mitch 14. Tyler, did you say that you have played some best ball? All right, Sonny Gray. Now we're up to 4. Do I believe in Byron Buxton this year? I believe in Byron Buxton when he's on the field. Do I believe he can play 100 games? Absolutely not. Which is a shame. I really like Byron Buxton. He's such a dynamic player, and he's so fun to watch. But he's just like a China doll. What are you going to do, right? He breaks. Brutal. That's right. You told me only for you did it for football. I have to admit, I really like the best ball concept, because I don't want to have to worry. Like with So Rare, obviously we have to worry about lineups. But I don't know. Silver is just kind of so much different than fantasy or like rotisserie back in the day. But I really like the concept of best ball because drafting is always really fun. So you do the draft and then you forget it. So I mean, granted, I'm going to have an absurd amount of teams. So they have this thing called the eliminator, and what happens is the bottom chunk of your grouping gets knocked off like every week. So it's almost like, gosh, I forget. Oh, it's like NFL Survivor. You have to pick like one team to win, and then you move on. So it's kind of like that, but the opposite. And I have a bunch of those teams. I think I maxed out. I think it was 20 or 30 teams. So I'm like, okay, that'll be kind of cool because every week I'll be able to see like how many of my teams advanced, as opposed to all the other ones where you're waiting until like, I think the end of July, and then you get to see how many of your teams got to move forward. So I really thought that eliminator one was really creative. Oops. Okay, where are we at here? There goes Pavetta. Whoa, we had a pitcher run. That's fine because I need infielders. I think I'm at 4 pitchers and 2 infielders. Yeah, so we need both. Michael King is still there. He will definitely not make it all the way down to me. It's going to be way too early to take Reed Detmers. With any luck, I'll still be able to take Giloff. Vinny's there. Volpe's there. There's definitely, I'd say I got a decent shot at Giloff, maybe even Vinny or Volpe. So we'll take a look at it. I was thinking about doing a stream for common drafts. I'm not a big common guy, but I know a lot of people are, and I think people would probably like it. Where I just kind of walk through like, hey, here's like 10 different lineups or 10 different rosters you could put together kind of thing. Tyler, you think people would be into that? I mean, I don't want to waste my time because I don't really play common, but I mean, it just seems like it's pretty easy to put together a handful of lineups. And I think for a lot of the like free to play crowd, especially the soccer guys who were just trying to like grind away and win a limited card to flip kind of thing, they'd probably be into that. Okay, there goes Volpe. There goes Vinny. There goes Michael King. Uh-oh. My queue is looking rough. Rough. Why is this guy taking so long? It's the 13th round. Just pick who you want to pick. Yeah. Maybe it's a YouTube video, right? I used to do a pretty decent amount of these back when I did radio, but I hit them all because it's just not topical anymore. Who wants to watch one of my old sports videos back from like 2012? Nobody. Oh. This guy is a thorn in my side. He took Giloff right there. What pick is this? 153. Brutal. Okay, Detmers is on my queue. I think I'm going to end up going Bryson Stott. Stott's not a bad player. That's fine. It's fine. I'll be okay. But this guy, Yada Bing. No, it's just Yada Bing. Yada Bing. He's been a thorn in my side. I think that's the 3rd time he got me. Yeah, European guys like to see common lineups. I get it. That makes sense. I mean, there's so many things that you and I probably think about when we're putting together lineups and we're doing player acquisition that they really don't understand. I mean, like I was talking to a few guys today about roster construction, and I said, look, here's the thing. You know, you got to make sure you have a stable of starting pitchers and a stable of relief pitchers. You don't need to have a stable of bats. And obviously we know the bats are more expensive, but for the most part, if you have 2 to 3 middle infielders, you can rotate those guys based on starts and matchups pretty easily. Pitchers, it's a lot harder. I mean, even if you have a good pitcher, with the exception of Strider, I mean, not that Strider doesn't get lit up once in a while, because he does, but for the most part, I just took Reed Detmers right there. But for the most part, you're trying to pick a matchup. You're going, okay, who strikes out a bunch? Who doesn't score a lot of runs? And which pitcher do I have facing them this weekend? So it really helps if you have, typically I like to have 7 to 10 starting pitchers, stud starting pitchers, to be able to kind of choose from. Relief pitchers, I like to have like 4 to 5 closers that I can choose from, because I'm thinking about obviously how many games they have from an opportunity standpoint, whether they're on the road or they're at home, whether their manager is a manager who will throw them 2 games in a row. Some managers don't really like to use guys back-to-back days. Some pitchers like Josh Hader does not like to throw back-to-back days. So where other pitchers, they're like, just give me the rock, I'm always ready. At the same time, like for me, when I'm looking at my relief pitcher, I'm looking at the first matchup in the series, because if I feel like they can win that first matchup, there's a good chance my closer throws on the first day of the game week. There's a really good shot that they're going to throw again during that game week. So, because I'm trying to get 2 appearances. But guys who come in that don't really understand baseball, they don't think about those things. So they're not like, when I had Jose Ramirez last year, I would get so frustrated with Jose, and I did a deep dive on his numbers, and I was like, oh my gosh, Jose's not hitting left-handed pitching. I really need to be more careful about when I play him. And because I really like Jose Ramirez, he's a great ball player, but he just was not hitting left-handed pitching at a certain point last season. I was like, I can't do this. I'm starting to hate this guy. So as soon as I figured that out, I just picked my matchups a little more closely. But you can do that when you've got Jose Ramirez and Austin Riley and Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman. I didn't have Freeman at the time, but you know what I mean. So, it definitely changes things. But those are things we think about. Those aren't things that those guys are thinking about. They're not looking at righty-lefty matchups. They're not really looking at certain ballparks that play better. They're not looking at like, are you facing the A's 3, 4, and 5? Or are you facing the Braves 1, 2, 3? Like, they don't really think about those things. They're just going on so rare data and being like, click, 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 click. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, those relief pitchers, there are certain relief pitchers who will just go out and just deal every day. But so that's interesting. That you say that, Tyler. You're going Astros over Braves. Yeah, because the Astros have 4 games. They're playing the Yankees. Cole's not going to be there. So it makes all the sense in the world. Why wouldn't you? Braves have 3 games. So you're trying to maximize opportunities. And I think I said this before on Hunter's, like the first time Hunter and I jumped on, and I said, look, the goal is you are trying to maximize as many quality at-bats you can have against low-quality pitching. That is what you're trying to do every single week with your lineup. If you're not doing that, you're not going to get the most out of your lineup. But if you can maximize quality hitters against low-quality pitching, that's how you win. I mean, that's how I would win. And I know sometimes people are like, well, but you have such great cards. So does YNWA, so does Dewey, so does Luke, so does Zuby, so does Master Nader. They all have great cards too. We all have the same cards. I think Dewey and Zuby have better cards than I did last year. But I still beat them. You just got to pick your spots. And I don't know about Dewey, but I know Zuby is super busy with his business and his kids. So he doesn't have a lot of time to deep dive into lineups like I do. All right, where are we at? I actually got to think about this pick now. We're at 5 and 3. Will Smith, Correa, Narcissus. Oh, Encarnacio Strand. We could do it. Get another red. Oh, just kidding. I'm taking Mackenzie Gore. If he's there, if this guy doesn't take him again, it'll be the fourth time he gets me. Oh, he took Encarnacio Strand. That's fine. Do your thing, homie. Yada bing. So what I'll actually do when it comes back, because I just took Gore early. When it comes back, I'm actually going to take Harrison. And I'll take Harrison early, and then I'll just go boom with infielders. I'll just draft 4 infielders in a row when it comes to me. Nano, you need to start looking. The thing with baseball is, baseball is so statistic heavy. NBA didn't used to be, and the NFL really wasn't. But baseball has always been a game of statistics. And when analytics started coming in, there was obviously a little pushback on the traditional statistics side. But for the most part, baseball fans have always just hovered around stats. Like, we just hug stats so much. It used to be like home runs and batting average and wins and ERA. And now everybody looks at OBPS and launch angle and velocity. And it's wild. But we're looking at like how breaking pitches are coming down and the drop rate on fastballs. So the cool thing is about baseball is that data is out there if you want it. The one thing I will say though is there is so much data that it can be crippling. So you have to really just know what you want to look for. And especially when it comes to like fantasy sports or so rare, you just need to know what you're looking for and just focus on that. Like for me, when I decide the guys I want to add, for the most part, I'm only looking for big play guys. That's all I'm looking for, which means some weeks I just get smoked. But I'm not trying to just get guys who are going to make sure they score points every week so I can finish in 8th place. That's not going to do it for me, especially with the new rewards. That's just useless. So I need to make sure that I have guys on my roster that can have big weeks. If I have a guy who's starting on my roster and I don't think he can score 100 points in any given week, then I need to replace him with somebody who can. So, that's a big thing for me. Steve Kwan is a really nice baseball player, but he's not going to score 100 points in a week. So if people want to start him and he's their value play, I don't care if he has 4 games in a week or not. He's not my play. And I think we're going to see with the reduction in rewards that is really going to impact a lot of people who do a fantastic job of building value rosters, because they're just going to win a bunch of coupons and loot boxes, which are going to be more coupons. So that's not going to be fun for them at all. Nano, excuse me. The cool thing about So Rare MLB in the community, though, is there's a lot of knowledgeable baseball fans. I feel like I know a lot about baseball. There's definitely a lot of things I don't know about baseball. I had the opportunity to cover baseball and football when I did radio. I don't know if that's just because I'm opinionated or I'm well-spoken or once in a while I'm funny, but for the most part, I know a lot about baseball. And I thought I knew a lot about baseball when I first started covering it, and I learned a lot more about baseball, and I still don't know anywhere near the amount that I need to know. There are people who know more about baseball that play So Rare than I do. Absolutely. So my point being, if you have questions, there's plenty of people who will be happy to help you out. Just ask. Some people absolutely just climb over each other to help you out. They just want to share their knowledge. I feel like I probably overshare. I think that's fair. I think I overshare sometimes, but I try to contribute to the community. That's how I look at it. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Tyler, that's a great point. I mean, Brian Reynolds is a great ball player. I really like Brian Reynolds, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's going to be that like one game week all year where he goes nuts, and there's going to be a lot of game weeks where he scores less than 12 points. But most game weeks, he's going to end up scoring about 30 to 40 points, which is great. It's just not going to land you on a podium. Christopher Sanchez and Nestor Cortez. Wow, it looks like the pitching got thinned out really quick. Glad I got in and out of there when I did. Okay, so we need to go infield, right? I guess I could take Rizzo. Rizzo Mania. Oh my gosh. So Tyler, this is great. I was the person who coined Rizzo Mania when he was in San Diego. And that carried over with him to Chicago. Because I knew Anthony. His first game he got called. I mean, I spent time with him when he was in the minors. And I went out to El Paso to cover him, talk to him. And I'm the one who came up with Rizzo Mania because I was beating the drum so hard for him to get called up. And the Padres were really trying to time it so they had that extra year of control, but he was raking. So funny story. So Rizzo's absolutely raking down at AAA. The team was not in El Paso. They were in Tucson at the time. So I go out to Tucson for a couple days just to I always felt like relationship building was important and kind of like, and I guess I'm just kind of old school, like skin to skin contact, I think matters sometimes. But I went out there and Rizzo got hit in the hand, fractured his hand. Kept playing through it though. He knew he was close to getting called up and he was raking. So even though he fractured his hand, he didn't want anybody to know about it. So they kind of hit it. He kept playing through it. And a week later, he wasn't playing great, but a week later, they called him up. And it was a dumpster fire because, well, he had a fractured hand. So the first call up, it did not go well. But they brought in, like the first day, they have Rizzo jersey shirts in the Padres shop, and everybody was all pumped up, and it was Rizzo Mania this and Rizzo Mania that. And he was terrible. And he was kind of getting involved with a couple of the guys in the clubhouse who were partiers. So he was going out all the time. So it did not go well. He felt like he was big man on campus when he got there, and he kind of was because the team was trash. But he started going out all the time and partying, and then he wasn't hitting because his hand was busted. So he gets sent down like a month later, and he is so salty with the organization that they had the nerve to demote him, even though he was hitting like $190. So he ends up going down. I think they called him back up in like September, and they platooned him. And then in the offseason, he gets traded to the Cubs for Andrew Cashner. The offseason was a nightmare because the Padres GM was Jed Hoyer at the time, and the president, Tom Garfinkel, didn't want Hoyer anymore. He brought Josh Burns over from the Diamondbacks as Hoyer's special assistant. So he didn't want Hoyer anymore, but he was under contract, couldn't do anything about it. So the Cubs expressed interest, and Tom Garfinkel was like, yeah, you can have him. We don't need any compensation. He just let him walk to get out of the contract and then promoted Josh Burns. And then, of course, Hoyer, who was in Boston when Rizzo was there, was very comfortable with Anthony and was like, hey, we want Rizzo. What can we do? Because keep in mind, the Padres traded Matt Latos to the Reds for Brad Boxberger, who I'm sure you're familiar with as a Cubs fan. Great guy, by the way. Yasmani Grandal, not a great guy. And Yonder Alonso, and his name is escaping me, Edison Volquez. So those four guys came over for Matt Latos in that trade. And I actually, I don't want to say I was good friends with Matt Latos. I guess if Matt Latos could have friends, I was probably one of them, but he was just kind of an odd duck. So then all of a sudden they have Rizzo and Alonso, and Jed Hoyer's like, hey, so it seems like you guys have too many first basemen and you don't have any pitching. Do you want Andrew Kashner? And Josh Burns was like, please get Rizzo out of here. Alonso is going to be my guy. Yonder Alonso is going to be my guy. He's going to be the dude, which of course he was never the dude. But that's kind of how the whole story went. So anyway, now you probably have way more information about the Padres and the Rizzo trade than you ever wanted to. But that's kind of how it all went down. I'm not a huge fan of Jed either, but Jed is a huge fan of Jed, and I think that's what's important. So he's probably one of my least favorite front office people ever. He's like kind of like he's like Nate from Ted Lasso. After like Nate kind of becomes like the wonderkind, that's kind of like Jed Hoyer. Like the way he would treat everyone was like that. It was really odd. Sorry, I'm just reading Nano's comment. Yeah, obviously, Nano. Anything you want, I have an abundance of worthless information. I'm happy to share. Yeah, he does. It's kind of weird. Like there's certain what I call crown jewel organizations in sports, and those are organizations that should, especially in baseball, should always be good. The only reason that they're not good is because they are terribly mismanaged. But they should always be good because they have all the resources available, whether it's a wealthy owner or a TV deal or facilities or location. They're in a place that you want to be. And the Cubs are absolutely one of the crown jewels in baseball. And the fact that they are not winning that terrible division every single year is an embarrassment. They should absolutely win that division every single year right now. Just my opinion. I mean, I think the Dodgers and the Giants are a crown jewel. Obviously, the Yankees and the Red Sox. That might be it. I have to put some thought into that. None of the AL West teams. Probably not any of the AL Central teams. Baltimore, Tampa, Toronto, no. I don't think I could say the Phillies or the Braves are one of those. I mean, they definitely should be good. And just like the Mets should be good in theory, but they're not. I'm like, wait, did I just make the wrong move? I'm looking for one more infielder. One more. Ooh. We could take Nolan Chenille. Huh. Maybe. I don't really love a lot. What we got? Rizzo, Pena. I need a guy who can hit home runs. I've got too many punch and Judy guys. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go with. I don't love this idea, but I don't hate it. I'm gonna go with Nolan Schwinell. The guy who's gonna hit 2 for the Angels. Schwinell. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it sounds more fun. Like Schwing. Schwinell. Wow, Benintendi went last round. All right, that's cool. Boom. Wow, I had no idea that bleacher tickets were $100. That is nuts. mean, if you're one of those crown jewel, oh my gosh, yeah, Hosmer. Don't even get me started with Hosmer. But if you're one of those crown jewels, there's no reason that you don't win every year. I mean, I'm not saying, especially with 7 teams that make the wild card, like there should never be 2 years in a row where you do not make the playoffs. Like the fact that the Giants are as poorly constructed as they are for as long as they have been it's laughable. I mean, obviously I'm a Padre fan, so it's great. The fact that Dave Roberts is a terrible manager in the postseason is great. Not that he's great in the regular season either, but as a Padre fan, I'm like, you're going to keep him in another year? That's great. Do it, because he can't win. He doesn't manage the bullpen well. He doesn't manage the starters well in the postseason. So, okay. I always loved when Don Mattingly was there because he was terrible. And they got rid of Don Mattingly, and I was like, oh. But then they hired Roberts, and I was like, I don't think Doc's got it in him. And he doesn't. I mean, he's going to think about this. This is going to be Dave Roberts' 10th season managing the Dodgers. And the only World Series ring he has is from that Mickey Mouse 60-game year. That's it. And Friedman does an amazing job with that team. Amazing. I mean, you could not ask for a better roster year in and year out. And they don't have one regular season World Series under Dave Roberts. That's crazy to me. Like, how is that acceptable? You're the Dodgers. Okay, cool. I'm actually gonna jump in another one right now. They only need one more person. So, Tyler, Nano? I'm assuming you're still in here. What part of the world are you guys in? I'm in Scottsdale. I think most people know that. So I'm in Arizona. We're Mountain Time, but now with daylight savings time, we're on Pacific. Like having Aaron Boone. Yeah, it's not everybody's Bruce Bochy. That's the thing. Nano, you're here? Seriously? We should go to a game. I mean, I'm not saying like come to my house tonight, like, let's not make it weird. But but we can catch a ball game. I'm right next to, so I'm like a mile north of Old Town. I'm in a cherry spot. And I'm like the next exit south of Salt River Field, so I can totally go. Oh, Tyler, you're in Chicago. That's great. All right, let's see how this breaks down. I think my team looked okay. 5 minutes north of the airport. All right. Tatis, Schwarber, Reynolds, Happ, Friedel, Churrillo. Yeah, my outfield is amazing. Yuri, Torque, Stott. So Yuri and Torque should be fine, and then I just have to hope that those 5 guys all kind of rotate weeks they go off to fill that last spot. All right, cool. Draft starting. I got 9th. What's the deal? I mean, 10th is like a death wish if you get 10th. There we go. Cool. Hap Schwarber. Yeah, I guess I do have it's like a Cubs alumni stack. I mean, Hap and not Hap, but Schwarber and Rizzo were part of that World Series team. Probably, I would say arguably the best World Series ever. I still remember when I was young, the Blue Jays, Joe Carter hit a walk-off home run for the Blue Jays off of Mitch Williams, and they beat the Phillies in the World Series at home. And I feel like that's probably, like, I remember when Kirk Gibson hit the home run in game 1 of the World Series. I think that was 88 against the A's. And obviously, me not liking the Dodgers, that just kind of burnt itself in my memory. But that Cubs World Series was nuts against the Indians, because Cleveland's just not going to win, right? That's just, like, we all know. Eventually, that was just not gonna happen for Cleveland. Oh, spring training tour, sweet. So fun story, Nano. When Will Ferrell filmed that documentary, and he went to all those ballparks. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentary. I think it was on HBO. I've never seen it either. But when he was going to go to each ballpark and play every single position, I went and took the day off work, and I followed him to every single ballpark he went to that day, because they scattered the times of the games. Normally the games are all at 1:00, but they scattered the times of the games. And I think it was the night before, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. So we started out in Mesa, which is on the east part of the valley. And I followed Will Ferrell to every ballpark. Until the last game was in Peoria. So I think it was, if I remember correctly, he started with the A's in Mesa, and then he switched uniforms and played for the other team like the next inning. And then I think we went to Tempe at the Angels ballpark, and then up to Salt River Fields. Oh, he took Carroll. Went up to Salt River Fields. All right, I'm going to do something different right here. I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to take Matt Olson. We're going to go, and I'm going to try to take Austin Riley when he comes back. And if Austin Riley doesn't come back, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to try to go Brave Stack right here. Oh, nice. Lasso just followed me. So I went to every ballpark. I think we went Mesa, Tempe. Ooh, I can't remember if we went to Scottsdale for the Giants. I think we did. And then I say we as if like me and Will, because I was by myself the whole day. And then I went to Salt River Fields. And then from Salt River, I had to drive all the way down to Glendale for the Dodgers White Sox. I don't think they were playing each other, but the facility of the Dodgers and White Sox share, and then they wrapped up in Peoria. So I went to, I guess, 5 or 6 games in that one day, which was pretty cool. So I think I still have all the ticket stubs. I made sure I got a ticket stub from every game. The Angels game was already sold out, and I had to pay like $45 for a lawn seat. And keep in mind, this was 10 years ago. Spring training wasn't as expensive as it is now. And but it was a cool day. I always wanted I got Austin Riley. So we're going to go Brave Stack right here. I always wanted to get it framed. I thought it'd be super cool to be able to get all the tickets framed, and then maybe like a picture of Will Ferrell. But that was pretty cool to do it all in one day, though, for sure. I can't recall if we went to Goodyear. I don't think we went to Goodyear. That's a nice ballpark, though. But I don't think we went to Goodyear or Surprise. Yeah, Freeman Witt. Yeah, this guy's oh great, it's my buddy Yada Bing. He went for, maybe I can get him a few times this time. We'll see. A little payback. Casas #1 rare, going to go for 114. People pumped about Casas. I mean, I like Casas. I don't $114 like him. And I'm going to try to do my best to just stick with my Ranger stack, because I think that is going to be the best opportunity ROI wise for me So if it's not, we'll find out. But I think it's so here's my thought process. Normally I would just grab like the top 5 guys from each position, and then I'd grab like 10 starters and 5 relievers, and that would be my roster. I'm not going to do that because it's cost prohibitive. Realistically, even if I wanted to with all the new cards, there's just no way I'm going to make that money back. So when I looked, nobody else was really buying Rangers. And I thought, okay, this is a lane for me. I think if I can just buy all the Rangers, get my 5% bonus early, and if you guys have watched my other streams, I talked about this. So I'm doing what I preach because I feel like the variance is going to be pretty tight. And if you can get that extra 5% early and ride that out, then there's a good opportunity that if you do it right and you get lucky with the game weeks, you can probably break even by the end of May. So I'm going to give it a shot, which means I'm buying pitchers to rotate. I'm going to buy my Rangers hitters. Obviously, the Rangers have a great offense, so that helps. And I think if I can just roll with that, then it can be profitable, which is the only way that I was going to play this year. So I had a good conversation with John, and I said, look, because he was like, man, I really wish you weren't leaving. And I said, well, fix the game. Like, I'll stay if you fix the game. This needs to be a game of winners and losers, not a game of so rare and a bunch of people who lose money. So you guys have to fix that. And if I see a lane and you guys are managing it properly, then I'll come back if it looks like I can make money. Otherwise, I'll just play DFS and make money. So I guess this was like the 3rd day after auction started, and I saw a lane, and I was like, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Obviously, the fact that I already sold the majority of my cards and I was kind of stuck with the super rares, I just wasn't selling them for any amount that I felt comfortable with, made my decision a little easier. Come on, Michael Harris or Ozzy Albies, one of them. There goes Albies. Come on, Michael Harris. Let me get this Brave stack. Come on, for 5566. He's taking way too long to make this pick. Michael Harris is the top pick. So he's going to take him no matter what. All right. Damn. Almost, right? I almost laid that out. Perfect. Okay, we'll go Nolan Jones. You guys saw that. It was so close. Beautiful execution. This guy and his auto pick, he's just spending $10 letting it draft all the time. Terrible. I'm going to need another outfielder right here. I'm not going to get one, but I need one. Probably going to go. I was going to go Gossman. All right, I might go Gossman. He's in play. Lindor, De La Cruz, Gunnar are all in play. All the outfielders are gone. So that is not ideal. So we're going Gossman, De La Cruz, or Gunnar. Let me move De La Cruz. Let me move Gunnar up. These guys are taking too long. Oh, let's see. Let me catch up. I know you guys have been talking. I'm sorry. I got caught up in that Will Ferrell story. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like I have way too many stories. Way too many. I feel like when I was younger, I was just funnier. And now I'm just old and I have stories about things. Castillo, interesting. All right, we're going Gunnar. I mean, I like Gossman, don't get me wrong, but we're gonna right the wrong from the last draft. We're gonna go Gunnar right here. Hap statistically is a top 3 hitter of all time at Great American Ballpark. That's amazing. Dexter Fowler, David Ross. I can't believe they got rid of David Ross. I mean, I don't watch the Cubs enough to know if he was a competent manager, but I was just really shocked. And I've watched the Brewers enough that I'm not impressed with Craig Counsell. So I was surprised that they give him that much money and that they let Ross go. And I don't think Ross got a job, which is weird. So I'm assuming we'll just see him on TV somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think David Ross got another managing job. Nano, Dodgers Guardians game on Monday. I'm assuming you're talking about Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's a big dude, by the way. Not like buff, but he's a tall dude. Tall, lanky. Yeah, it sounds like Seager's going to be ready a couple weeks after opening day. I mean, the injury he had, I don't know why it's escaping me right now. Sports hernia, I believe. I mean, Seager's always hurt, right? The fact that they're even selling him right now just makes me wonder what the hell's going on. You want to be the best fantasy game possible, but you also want to milk the managers as much as possible in the process. Like, why are you selling Seager when he's hurt, but you're not selling Bradish and Senga? Like, make up your mind. It feels like you're splitting hairs. Like, if they keep minting Garrett Cole tomorrow, then they're clearly just trying to money grab and take advantage of people who are buying the cards because they don't know that Garrett Cole's hurt. Like, that's not cool. So I don't even think they should be selling Seager right now, even though I need to buy Seagers. I don't think they should be selling them. And I'll be in on the bidding tomorrow for the super rare. But I think there's like a real small chance he's ready for the first week. But he's probably going to miss a couple weeks. And I'm going to be in on the super rare, which agitates me because that's going to be a bunch of money. That's just kind of sitting there as dead weight. But sports hernias, it's not like a knee where it's a re-aggravating injury kind of thing. It's kind of weird he didn't get the surgery until when he did, but at least it's just a hernia. Tyler, you're so funny, man. You're such a homer. Yeah, Tyler Steele's a beast. I'm with you on that. Okay, I really need an outfielder. Pitching would be good too. All right. Hap and Chisholm. I'd really like Hap. Hap. Everybody. I got Fromber up there. I mean, I'm going to get one of these outfielders. It's going to happen. Ooh, Machado's there too. Well, I've got some options. Did Evan Carter get taken already? Okay, no. Maybe I can get Evan Carter on the way back. Oh, this guy's going to auto draft again. Okay, well, he should draft Framber. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to get Hap. Like Machado, but obviously I have plenty of infielders already. So when it comes back, I'm going to target Evan Carter. Evan Carter, Jazz Chisholm. Hopefully one of them. Yeah, Yada Bing. He's putting work in on me. So hopefully I can get Chisholm. Not getting Chisholm. Probably should take a picture. Logan Webb. Here we go. Nola's there. Kirby's there. Webb's there. Based on this format, I'm going to go Webb. I'll wait. I'll get outfielders on the way back. Obviously, I'm just kind of – my outfielders are not great. So I'll be taking 7 outfielders this draft. So close on that Michael Harris, though. Okay, I'm not taking Logan Webb. We're taking Kirby. Okay, there went Nola. That's fine for me. I'm not a huge Nola. I mean, I like Nola, but I don't think he's going to throw well. He had a rough year last year, and he's just – between the regular season and those deep postseason runs, It seems like he's really not built for all that. They need to find a way to kind of spread him out a little more because he was not effective last year. And then they gave him a ton of money. So, excuse me, you got to protect your asset. Still going to bat Harris Ninth. They should. They should absolutely bat Harris Ninth. And the reason why is because the great thing about batting Harris Ninth is it provides protection for Acuna. But it doesn't take any at-bats away from Acuna because Harris is so good in the 9 spot that he rolls the lineup over, and he's on base. It allows you to not take at-bats away from Acuna, and when you get somebody on base in front of Acuna, plus you have Albies behind him, the likelihood that he sees more fastballs is higher. You're going to have more slide steps when Harris is on base. So I mean, Harris realistically should not hit that low in the lineup, but the way that it's set up for the Braves, it makes so much sense. So much. You know, it's kind of like when Tony La Russa used to bat the pitcher 8th. I mean, keep in mind, your leadoff hitter, and in the Braves case, is their best hitter. And in the Dodgers case, arguably having Betts up there, most teams, Betts would be their best hitter. Making sure that you have somebody in that 9 spot really helps out, because if you have somebody in that 9 spot who is not going to get on base very often, he's your worst hitter, then a lot of times your leadoff hitter is hitting without runners on base all the time. But with Michael Harris, it really creates a different kind of dynamic. And obviously the Braves lineup is really deep, but I think that it's a great play, because otherwise where are you going to hit him? 7th, 6th? I mean, Ozuna was an absolute beast last year. I don't expect him to repeat that. But you've got Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olsen, Ozuna. Remember, Murphy was totally gangbusters last year. Now they're going to have Kelnick, which is going to give them a lefty bat, like they had Rosario last year. And so you hit Acacia. His name is not Acacia. Like, I can see it in my head. Arcia, the shortstop. I mean, you don't want him hitting 9th. He's your worst hitter. But you don't want him hitting 9th because he's just not going to roll it over that often. So anyway, that's the thought process. And I think for the Braves, you can make that work. Most teams, they're not deep enough to be able to do that. But I think with the Braves, you totally can. I feel like with the Dodgers, they hit like Outman 9th. And I mean, especially his rookie year, it's a good spot to have him in. Ooh, I probably shouldn't take Torque, but I'm probably going to. No, Torque got taken? No, Torque has not been taken. But I really need pitching and outfielders. Jordan Walker? What do you guys think about Jordan Walker? Okay, I'm going to go Jordan Walker. It's like Jordan Walker or Stephen Kwan. I'm going to go Jordan Walker. Obviously, Stephen Kwan is the safer play. Jordan Walker, ton of upside. The guy gets it right. He can hit 35 bombs, steal like 15 bases. Steve Kwan, best case scenario, 5 home runs. So, and in best ball, I need Jordan Walker to have a couple weeks where he hits like 3 or 4 home runs. You know, Tyler, I thought Nick Madrigal would be a better player. Not that he was going to be a rock star, but I mean, seeing him play third base is kind of funny. But I really thought he was going to be a better player when he came up with the White Sox. He just, I mean, I know he's not a big dude, but you got to put that ball in the outfield a lot more. You have to. And I thought he was going to have the kind of bat control, not like a Tony Gwynn kind of bat control, but like, you know, Wade Boggs, like, you kind of feel me, guys who were really good at finding holes. and he hasn't become that guy, unfortunately. Oh, Torque almost made it back. That would have been really hard to say no to, but Justin Steele, boom. Could have went outfield, maybe should have went outfield, but at least I've got Kirby and Steele now. That's good. Everyone thinks Council can manage the team with not great pieces and do well. Okay. I think that that's a fair point about Council. The fact that division is not very good obviously comes into play, and that's also why he has been successful with the Brewers, because that division is not good. So we were actually talking about this in my Discord, my OG Discord earlier, because the pitching in the NL Central is not great. But that was, for the most part, that was the Brewers' calling card when you had Burns and Woodruff and Peralta. So that was kind of what separated them. Their offense kind of had its moments, but I feel like the Brewers' offense isn't that good. However, when you have Woodruff, Burns, and Peralta, and a solid bullpen with Devin Williams and Josh Hader, it's a lot easier to win games over inferior teams. We saw last year when the Diamondbacks just mowed them down that the Brewers were not very good, and they were fairly inept offensively. I think the Cubs are one of the most, I don't want to say under the radar, but I think they're a really dynamic offensive team. I don't think they're really consistent, but I think they're really dynamic. When they get hot and you've got Horner and Swanson and Happ, and when Bellinger's healthy, and if Morel gets consistent at-bats, like that team can really score a lot of runs. The fact that they didn't sign Chapman was a surprise to me, because he seems like such a great fit. Such a great fit. I mean, you've got Swanson with a Gold Glove, now 2 Gold Gloves in a row at shortstop, and then you put Chapman there, and it gives you pop in the lineup, great run producer, who I know didn't put up great numbers in Toronto last year. He did the first half, but when they made that change to the outfield dimensions, it screwed up a lot of guys. I mean, Vlad had a really rough year last year. Granted, he wasn't great the year before either, but Chapman, for some reason, they put the wall in places where he hit the ball, and it took away his home run production. I don't think we would have seen that in Chicago. He would have been such a great fit there, and such a huge upgrade over Madrigal. So, I mean, I think he'll be fine in San Francisco. He's got great power, and that is a really tough place to hit. I'm trying to think, because you guys have Happ, Suzuki, and Bellinger. Oh, I think Bellinger is going to play first base, right? So then in center field, you've got Touchman. I apologize if that's not how you say it. So he had a couple spots. Let me figure out what I'm doing right here. I wanted to go pitcher. It looks like they're taking all the good ones. I was just going to line up Bobby Miller. Okay, where am I at? Outfielders. I only have 3 outfielders. Josh Lowe. What's the deal with Lowe? Is he going to be – okay, he's coming back this weekend. Sweet. Well, that's actually a really nice place for me to take Lowe. No, this guy's on auto pick again. So he's going to take Lowe. I hate being – the nice thing when you're next to a guy who auto picks is you know what he's going to take. The not so nice thing is you know what he's going to take. Okay, I'm going to go Friedel here. I'm trying to build up my outfield. It's not going great. Okay, what are we talking about here? Happen as Gold Gloves. The thing is with corner outfielders, I feel like there's just not that many good ones. And when Mookie was in right, Mookie was excellent. It's always so funny because and I mean, Tyler, you watch a lot of baseball, like most of the best catches in baseball are because of bad routes. Trent Grisham won 2 Gold Gloves in San Diego, didn't make a ton of dynamic catches, but he always got great jumps and he always took great routes. But Tatis takes terrible routes and he gets bad jumps, but he's fast as hell and he's so athletic. He makes what should be routine plays look so dramatic because he takes bad routes. And I don't know why they were so against putting him in center field this year, but either way, Juan Soto was terrible. When he was in right field the year before, when he came over, I had no idea he was so bad in the outfield. And I am a huge Juan Soto fan. So it was rough to watch. And he was rough in left field too. But I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. I just feel like a lot of corner guys never look that great. I'm going to go pitcher right here, by the way. Is there an update on Senga? We'll wait another week to throw. I'm just not interested in drafting a guy who I got to kind of wait a little bit and see if he's going to be done for the year or not. All right. So I got a homer for you with Steele, and I got a homer from you with Musgrove. Hey, Nano, if you're still in here, are you a Diamondbacks fan? Just curious. It's okay if you're not. Yeah, Tyler, Altuve does make it work. I mean, that dude, he swings with his whole body. And I think that's kind of the difference between Madrigal. Madrigal's like a wrist kind of swinger. Altuve literally swings with his whole body, kind of like Anthony Volpe does. They are maximum effort swinging guys. I always feel like guys like that should injure their obliques more. And, knock on wood, I'm not trying to jinx anybody, but they are like just maximum effort dudes when they swing that ball. But like I said, Madrigal is more like kind of a quick wrist kind of guy, tries to place the ball a little more. And he needs to kind of get away from that. It's not college anymore. Like, you need to drive the ball. So, swing through it, use your lower half. And until he starts doing that, he's just going to be a utility guy who is only going to start when there's no better options. Oh, yeah, great point. Tyler's bringing up the point about weather. It's a great point. It's something I don't think about very often because it was 74 degrees here today. But I have a website. Here, let me see if I can drop it right now. This is the website I go to. I'll give you guys all the alpha, huh? It's on the Roto Grinders website. So at the beginning of the game week, before game week's lock, I just checked this out. I don't always worry about the first game of a series getting rained out, especially if it's a Monday. But I do worry about a Saturday or a Sunday game getting rained out because that just wreck your week. If they can't make that game up, it's brutal. Where are we at here? 3, 4. Jazz and center. Not a fan. Not a fan of Jazz and center. Garrett Cooper he had a nice year for the Marlins last year, and then he came over. He played okay with the Padres. He wasn't terrible. I mean, he's probably a better option. If Garrett Cooper was an option right now based on the Padres roster, I would say absolutely, because their roster is atrocious. They have zero depth. Oh, this guy's going to kill me. Yuri Perez is on the board, and the auto pick is going to take him. which means I'm going to end up getting Sonny Gray. That's a bummer. I mean, he's already got 4 pitchers. Maybe it'll take an infielder for him. Maybe. Probably not. This is brutal. You guys are just seeing me just get devastated. All right. Okay, he got Yuri from me. He got Lowe from me. I might have taken Grayson. He took Framber, which was fine because I took Hap. He took Michael Harris from me, so I think he's got me 3 times already on the auto draft. So Crone can't hit. That's the problem. He strikes out too much. He doesn't take enough pitches. He guesses a lot. It's kind of a Padre thing. They are completely okay getting beat by fastballs. So it's not just Crone, but yeah, it also has been Crone. But he has regressed every single year. We were all shocked when he got his second All-Star nod, but second base is kind of weak for offense. Michael King got taken? Okay. I'm going to go Darvish. But yeah, Crone's just – he can play Gold Glove at first base, but you really don't want a guy like that playing first base when his bat profiles as a second baseman because you're just going to hurt the rest of your team. You really need him to profile at second base and then have a guy on your corner who can hit for power and drive in runs, and he's just not that guy. So, but it's mainly because we have a general manager who does not understand roster construction. So, and also pays a lot of guys a lot of money for no reason. Matt Kemp, I mean, just the trades and the signings. The Matt Kemp trade was terrible. The Justin Upton trade wasn't terrible. He overpaid, but it was for a rental. The Melvin Upton trade, that was terrible. The James Seald signing was terrible. The Eric Hosmer signing was terrible. It's been one dumpster fire after another. And for some reason, our old owner who passed away, unfortunately, loved our general manager like a son and was totally okay with him burning everything to the ground every 3 years. So the first Machado contract was fine. The second one was ridiculous. The Darvish contract they gave out last year was ridiculous. The Cronenworth contract was bad. The Bogarts contract was bad. So I always make a joke that I wish I could just fail up like some people. Some people are just not good at their job, and somehow they get better jobs. They fail up. And I feel like I don't know if he's gone up, but he's completely failed. And don't get me wrong. 2 years ago, they did make it to the NLCS. I was super excited about that. And they should have played the Phillies better. But, I mean, one time in 9 years when your ownership has spent $1 billion, didn't seem good enough. That's just me. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what who I'm going to pick here. Don't really like any of the pitching. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. Verdugo. That's my dude right here. It's probably not going to make it to me, though. So I better have a plan B. There goes Verdugo. Lourdes Gurriel, maybe? I'm not opposed to an infielder. Okay, so I'm going to try to take Gurriel, and then I'll whip it back around and take Giloff. And then when it comes back, I'll overdraft. I'll reach on some pitchers. I'll go pitcher, and then, or I might take another outfielder. Let's see. I mean, I really do like MJ Melendez, but no, we're not going to play that game. Belly should play center 75% of the time. Okay. He's a good center fielder. Okay, got it. They're going to hit Gurriel third? All right, cool. Yeah, the Blue Jays think Dalton Varsho is great. And I'm not saying he's not, but they even played him in center field last year when they DH Springer a little bit, and they were giving Kiermaier some time. So they really think a lot of him. Okay, there goes Giloff. I mean, I like Varsho. I thought he was going to hit better in Toronto. You know, I was going to look this up, but it didn't look like any MLB teams made stadium adjustments this offseason. But I feel like I need to check into that. I was thinking about it a week or two ago because I felt like I didn't read anything about it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but that's obviously it's important. We need to know. I really wish the Blue Jays would change back. So my boy Bo can put up some numbers. I'm a big Bo Bichette fan. Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, those are my dudes. Where are we at? 160. I'm gonna go MJ Melendez right here. I like Melendez. He had a decent year last year. It wasn't fantastic. The guy's got an absurd amount of pop. You just got to figure it out. And their lineup's a little better this year. Obviously, Witt's going to be a little more seasoned. Vinny's back. Hunter Renfro's over. Not that Hunter Renfro's the savior or anything, but I really like Melendez. So at least now I've got my 6 outfielders. And I would have taken Giloff, but he got sniped. And I'll focus on grabbing those 2 pitchers and then I forgot I was going to go 7 outfielders, right? Because my outfielders are janky. So I'll probably just target like Hunter Renfroe for the last round. Yeah, Nano. So we're both Padre fans that live in the desert. How about that? I try to root for the D-backs, especially because I feel like the Padres and the D-backs aren't good at the same time. But and I had Diamondback season tickets for a couple of years, but when I moved to Scottsdale, it's kind of a pain to get to games. So just not really that into it. I will tell you though, Nano, if John hits me up with tickets, remind me at some point, and I'll try to give you a shout. So if he hits me up on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and I've got an extra ticket, I'll hit you up when you just go take the celebratory picture with our teams and the field in the background and all that stuff. I mean, if you're down, if you want to go. I do love going to baseball games, though. I'm going to probably move out of Scottsdale here in the next couple of months, so hopefully wherever I move is a little easier. I just don't like going downtown. I mean, it's any major city, it's always kind of a pain to go into the downtown area. And I feel like Phoenix is no different, and parking down there is kind of a nightmare, and it's just not my jam. Everybody loves Ha-Seong Kim in San Diego. Dude is like a cult figure in San Diego. The whole town is going to cry when they lose him this year. He's in his last year of control this year. They didn't extend him because they paid Bogarts, because they decided to give Bogarts Juan Soto's money and then traded Juan Soto for scrap. But everybody loves Ha-Seong Kim. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't expect the Padres to be a playoff team. I mean, I feel like they're close, but they really need 2 more bats just to be a playoff team. Royals are, so the thing, I feel like the Tigers have talent, but that ballpark is really hard to hit in. So it's kind of like the anti-Coors ballpark. And I mean, obviously Torque can hit there, but Torque can hit anywhere. But I think the Tigers stack could be interesting when they're on the road. I just feel like they're going to have trouble scoring a lot of runs. It's why I don't put together a Padre stack, because hitting in Petco is really frustrating. So even if you have great hitters, it's really hard to hit there. And I mean, the pitching in the NL West is pretty good. I mean, obviously the entire Dodgers staff is great. The Diamondbacks have Kelly and Galen, and now they're going to have Rodriguez. We'll see how he does this year. The Giants have Webb. I think Harrison's going to be good. Sorry, guys. Ooh, maybe I should take Bradish. I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to roll the dice on Bradish. Where's Mackenzie Gore? Somebody took Mackenzie Gore at 162. That's my guy. I always take Mackenzie Gore. Will Smith. Okay. So I'm going to take Bradish right here. I'm going to roll the dice on this pick. I know I wanted an outfielder, but I don't like the outfielders. So I'm going to take Harrison when it comes back. So Ha-Seong Kim, yeah, that'll be interesting. I'd really like to just see the Padres sign JD Martinez and another corner guy, like maybe Adam Duvall. I think if they did those two things, which will not cost, which they could probably do for under $10 million, then all of a sudden they're a team that could win 88 to 92 games. But right now, Jerkson Profar is the left fielder, and they're going to start a rookie Massey at third base until Machado's ready, which should just be a week or two. And then after that, they're not going to have a DH. So it's not going to go well. But Ha-Seong Kim's a lot of fun. Nice. You won Brewers. You won playoff tickets last year. I won playoff tickets too. And I didn't want to go. So, I got to pick somebody here. Somebody took Harrison? Oh my gosh, he took Harrison. Okay. I don't like any of this. Yeah, I went Pep Ewing. I like Pep Ewing, but still. I was talking too much. I missed that Harrison pick. I thought Harrison was like the 14th guy down on the pitcher list. I thought I was safe. Oh, that's interesting, Nano. So you make your so rare lineup based on the game you're going to go to. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Tyler, I think that the Reds are going to crush too. I think the Red stack is going to be awesome. I was looking at that. You know, the problem is there's no motivation to play your cards in other places. So why would I buy more? Like I've constantly been battling with that because I want to put together a Red stack. I want to put together an Oriole stack. Like I want to have some of those cards to be able to use. But at the same time, the prize pool is so small in the Classic contest that it totally demotivates me from buying more cards. And I don't think the guys understand that. I don't think the guys who run the game understand that because they don't play the game. So, and they definitely don't play the game like we do. It's totally different. So, you know, if they're playing limited or they're playing common, it's not the same. So why would the thing you should do, I mean, there's two things they should do, but I won't get too much into it. But when you're rolling this out and you want people to buy new cards, you want to incentivize them to buy new cards, and there's no incentive to do that right now besides just putting together a few lineups. There's really no reason why you would buy more than that. So you give people multi-entry, and that way you get guys like E2D and Master Nader and So Rare Agent, who are the guys who are spending money right now. You get them to, you reward them for spending money, and you get them to aggressively go after more. Now, I understand, like, for the small guys, they're like, whoa, multi-entry, like, that's not cool. But at the end of the day, there's just going to be people who are setting up multiple accounts anyway. So if you have multi-entry in there, I mean, So Rare, if we've learned anything in the last year from So Rare, they're really focused on the bottom line. They're going to take the biggest rake they can, and they're going to milk the users for every penny we have. So if that's the model, then you need to have multi-entry. It only makes sense. Maybe you don't need to do it all the time, and maybe you don't need to do it in every contest, but it definitely needs to be a thing. Where are we at here? I still need an outfielder. I don't like these options. Okay, cool. I'm going to go Baum or Gorman. I really like Gorman this year. Like, I really like Gorman. I'm tempted. He's on my infield target list because I really like him. I mean, he hit 27 home runs last year in like 112 games. And you just don't see that kind of pop out of middle infielders that often. So I think he's special. I mean, in theory, that Cardinals lineup should be good. I think their pitching and their manager are trash. But I think their lineup is really good. Between Nupar, Arenado, Goldie, Gorman, Walker, other people I don't know the names off the top of my head. I think their lineup is good enough to definitely score runs, especially in that division, which is why I picked up a couple Cardinal number ones, so I can run a Cardinal stack when they get around to announcing the fact that we'll be able to have multi-entry. I'll take the Reds, the other Rangers. E2D you're going to have. Yeah, no, you're right. Well, E2D is going to have to play him in the Classic, I guess. I really don't understand. I mean, he's not new, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you know, you see a guy spend that much money, you hope he wins to reward him for spending that much money. I mean, you probably don't hope he wins because he kept buying all those Cubs. But I feel like if a guy spends that kind of money and he doesn't win, it scares people. So it doesn't mean he knows how to put together a roster. I mean, he can have all the cards. I was talking to a buddy tonight, and he hit me up, and he's like, hey, I have some questions about my roster. Will you take a look and kind of let me know where you think I'm thin and where I should improve and where I should spend my money? And I'm like, yeah, okay, for sure. So I looked at it, and I said, well, here's the deal. Your infielders are all the same guy. So he had like Swanson, Marte, and one other guy that it's eluding me right now. Muncy, maybe somebody else. I'm going to take Pena right here. And I said, so here's the thing. Between those, now it's going to bug me. I got to pull up the message. And this guy, you know, we go way back, all the way back to when Topps launched. That's where most of the guys from my OG are from. We're all from like Topps, their first NFT run. So he had Nolan Gorman, Swanson, Marte, and Muncy. And I said, here's the problem. they're all about the same guy, and you're going to pick the wrong guy as often as you pick the right guy, and it's going to be really frustrating. So you need to get one guy who you feel like 75% of the time he's going to be my guy. And he was like, so I should go get Witt? I said, if you think Witt is that guy for you, absolutely. You need to go get that guy you can ride. Because if you just have four guys right there, you're going to play matchups, and it's going to be really challenging. Like from a pitcher standpoint, I'm totally good with that. But look, if you're deciding between Mookie Betts, Bobby Witt, and Corey Seager, cool. It's pretty hard to lose. But when you're deciding between Nolan Gorman, Swanson, Marte, and Muncy, one of those guys is probably going to have a good week. One of them's probably going to score single digits. The other two are probably going to be somewhere in the middle, and on a regular basis. And that's just not going to win you anything. Okay, let me make sure I understand. So I may start off playing 3 old season bats in cash, swap in and out with both pitchers. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how people strategize. For me, well, it's kind of easy for me, right? Because I'm just buying Rangers right now, and I bought some filler guys. So my plan is, and the Rangers pitching's not good. So even though the offense is fantastic, the pitching is terrible. So, okay, I've got Eovaldi. That's fine. But after that, it's not like I'm going to start Dane Dunning. It's not like I'm going to start Andrew Heaney. Their pitching's just not good. I'm shocked that they did not go harder after Dylan Cease, but whatever. I mean, it's not like Chris Young hasn't tried. They just have Scherzer and DeGrom on the IL. But because of that, it forces me to go get other pitchers. So I feel pretty good that I can just roll in with those 5 guys, those 5 hitters, and then I can just kind of run a train on pitchers. So, but everybody's got to figure out their own strategy. I mean, the pitchers are obviously cheaper, so your entry point is going to be cheaper on the pitcher side. I mean, the prevailing thought with super rare was, hey, we're going to go super rare. Just go get an infielder and a relief pitcher, and that's your cheapest entry point. And it is. It's true. The problem is it's not a great way to have an entry point because if everybody's going that way, everything gets bid up. So then you see Bobby Witt sell for $1,400 and Bo Bichette sell for $1,100 when those realistically should have been like $800 and $1,000. I need to make sure. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go Mountcastle right here. I like Mountcastle. I don't think he can hit it home very well, but he's going to be my guy. And then I'm going to go with the 7th outfielder, and that'll be Hunter Renfroe. Not because I love Hunter, just he's going to be kind of who's left. So anyway, so that's what's popping. I cover everything. Picked up Logan Gilbert. I had Gilbert last year, and I got really frustrated with him. I felt like for as big as he is, he does not strike out guys, and he's not dominant. I mean, I know he kind of has stretches where he kind of shows like he could be, but I got frustrated with him and had to bounce. So maybe I just wasn't patient enough with him, but that's just me. On the super rare side, so tomorrow I'm going to go after Seager. I really don't want to go crazy on price. So if Seager gets like around 1,200, I'll be out. I'll just get the next one. Because Because the thing with Seager is I'd assume they're going to mint another one by like the second or third week. And by then he'll be back. So right now it's like I'm buying one that I can't even use right away. So I'm going to have to buy another super rare anyway. And I bought Bregman, and I felt like I kind of overpaid a little bit for Bregman when I first bought it. And within a day, I was like, I only spent $550 on Bregman. I actually got a really good deal. So I've got Bregman that I can use in my flex spot because Aaron Judge is probably going to miss the first game week at least. And Duvall goes tomorrow. So I know there's a handful of guys. We're all going after Duvall, so it could get a little aggressive. I'm going to be reasonable though. Like I don't want to get too crazy with Duvall, just because I think he's the best closer. However, at the price of 3 other closers, it's probably not going to be a good idea. Like I don't want to go over $600 on Duvall. I think a really good closer is worth $400 to $500, and I think he's already around $300 right now. Now I gotta look. Seager's at 428. De La Cruz is at 200. Duvall's at 300. So I've got some room to move on Duvall a little bit. I'm glad that De La Cruz is still under $200 because the thought process for me is that guys who are interested in Seager are going to peel off quick, knowing that De La Cruz is right there. So if the De La Cruz price stays low, ideally they'll pull off Seager once it gets around like 600 or 700, thinking, I'll just get De La Cruz. I'll go bid on De La Cruz later. So we'll see if that works in my favor. I mean, it just takes one of these guys who's going nuts right now to bid the price up. You guys know that. Who's in on Seager? So E2D is on Seager and Masternator. So I'm dealing with 2 guys who've clearly shown their ability to overpay, and that's fine. We also could see whoever doesn't win Seager go after De La Cruz. I'm not going to buy De La Cruz. So I've only got so many bullets I'm willing to use. So I would just rather wait. I really like Matt McLean. So I'm down to just wait and grab Matt McLean, or wait and grab another Seager. And hopefully I can grab Duvall. We'll see. We'll see if they stay out of my lane. So anyway. Oh, yeah, great point. So, Tyler, yeah, there aren't a lot of multi-position players because they're doing that on purpose. Except for Shohei, even though he's not going to pitch, but don't get me started. Like Spencer Steer is a first baseman. There's a lot of guys, like Mookie Betts doesn't have multi-position ability, which is weird. But obviously they're going to start him at shortstop. The way SoRare wants to do it is they're going to keep guys at one position, because when you have multi-position, you have more utility and you're more valuable. So what they've said is that after a player plays 10 games, he's then eligible for a different position. So if Mookie ends up playing, like Jason Hayward gets hurt and they got to move Mookie to right field, or he's just not playing shortstop well, which I anticipate, after 10 games, Mookie will have multi-positional ability. So they would kind of rather like cook it in later than cook it in on the front end. So we'll see. They've been wrong on a lot of these position things, and I know they just say, well, the company we're working with, they feed us this info. And I always tell them the company that you pay feeds you this info. So just ask them for more. Ask them to be better. Ask them to be more accurate. So I don't think that's it's your vendor. Pay them and tell them what you want, and they'll give it to you. And if they're not giving it to you, find another vendor. Maybe the guys are just scared. You know, there's not a ton of experience. Not that they haven't had jobs, but I mean, Everett was in product for ESPN, so he basically made a free fantasy game working for ESPN for 6 years. He never had to deal with vendors. And now he's worked for So Rare for 2, and he's never had to deal with those kind of things. I mean, Damien worked in partnerships for a nonprofit for 2 years before coming over to So Rare. Like, he's never had to do those things. So expecting these guys to do things that they've never done is really hard to do. And since they don't have any other leadership, like, they don't know what they don't know. So I don't completely blame them. It's just that Nicholas needs to bring in somebody who has experience in this area. So anyway, I think feels like a good time to wrap it up. We did 2 drafts. I think they were okay. But I appreciate you guys hanging out and keeping me company. It's always, you guys know I like talking So Rare. I love talking baseball. So I appreciate you hanging in. I know it's late, Tyler. It's probably like almost 3 a.m. So I'm going to try to get some rest because I need to try to bid on that Seager tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a great evening. Thanks for doing some best ball. And what I'll do here's what I'll do for you guys, since you've been hanging with me, Nano and Tyler. In the next day or two, we're going to draft a best ball team for each of you. You guys will hang with me on the stream, and you'll help me pick, and then I'll give you a piece of whatever that team wins. So let's try to plan that out sometime over the next maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, probably next week, because my girl shows up on Friday. But let's do that, and then we'll set up something so if the team wins, then we're like co-owners kind of thing. So that should be fun. I did that with Flores last week, and he was pretty hyped about it. So team wins, we both win. It's all good. Okay, with that said, let's wrap this up. Hope you guys have a great evening. Appreciate you. Thanks for your support. And if you're watching this on replay, I hope you enjoyed your 2 hours. And everybody have a great evening. I'll see you guys.